Howdy folks, welcome to the channel. This is Rockin' the Country, where I do non-pop country music reactions, including LeAnn Rimes songs, including Dwight Yoakam songs, by gift request from Renee Mooberry in Southern Louisiana, who is, I've declared her to be, Dwight Yoakam's #1 fan. So at some point you should be hearing from Dwight. That's just what we're going to push for here, Renee. And LeAnn Rimes, #1 fan on the channel so far. Now, Papa Fix-It isn't feeling it, but she might be growing on him, and maybe not. You never know. But anyhow, we have some fun on the channel with this one. But Renee made a gift to the channel for me to do LeAnn Rimes, More Than Anyone Deserves, and I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry. It's a concert in Orlando. I don't know if it's both songs or that's sort of like the name of the concert or just the video from the YouTube channel I got. But on this one, you said she's 14, and oh, both songs are beautifully done. And so, all right, I'm going to get into this one. It's a long one. So, yeah, Renee was disappointed. I had done a reaction. What was the one I had done? You Never Even Called Me By My Name at Green Hall. And I didn't do a live version that somebody had taken with their cell phone. That was the one that Renee had requested. But it's always a risk in YouTube land, and they're still working out copyrights and vulnerabilities of reactors and these kinds of things. So I got one that had, obviously it was recorded by LeAnn because it was on one of her albums, Her People. So that sound quality was top notch. But nonetheless, I'm going to do this one and see what LeAnn has for us. So Renee, thank you for this gift, my dear, and let's hit this.
Written just because of the meaning it has.
She already had a name, but wasn't huge yet.
If I woke up tomorrow and my eyes could not see, in the darkness there'd be beauty. All the love you've shown to me, as I love longer and wider, deeper and higher, as I've been loved more than anyone deserves. If tomorrow for some reason somehow I could not hear, in the silence there'd be music. How to love that's always near, as I love longer and wider, deeper and higher,
Yeah.
as I've been loved more than anyone deserves.
That's a good realization.
And if I woke up in heaven and I could
this is going to be good.
Then I want to be your angel, and I love you just as much as I love longer and wider, deeper and higher. As I've been loved, I'm in love, I've been loved more than anyone deserves.
Yeah, that was beautifully sung. And it kind of brings up like the ideas too. This is what popped into my head a little bit about this song is about the section about if I woke up in heaven and like I couldn't be with you type of thing, then I'd want to be your angel. But then it's like, all right, it brings up the question, like if there is a heaven as depicted, say in the New Testament, or where it's some spiritual existence up somewhere, or the more Hebrew conception in the Hebrew Bible, which is commonly called the Old Testament, but the Hebrew Bible, where the lion shall lie down with the lamb and peace will be restored to Israel. And that is more of a paradise on earth. Either way, the question is, what body do you get? What form of yourself? If you wind up in that place, is it the 20-year-old you? Is it the 50-year-old you? Do you get to pick? Is it some reconstituted you that you'd recognize but still looks different? I don't know, but that's a song where this could actually apply. It more likely applies to somebody that he is still in a deep relationship with. Or a woman. I could be either or, not he, but obviously I'm seeing it from my perspective. But if these things happen, I'm just so fortunate to have been loved. Now that could be actually a reference. It could be just a purely spiritually minded song where it's just a reference to God or to Jesus, depending on one's faith. But more than likely, it's about life here on earth in a relationship. And then if that person were gone and they were in heaven, or if this one went to heaven, here's how I would see it playing out. And the human mind is a very creative enterprise. We don't always use it for good reasons or to good effect. But in a song like this, it's like, man, how fortunate am I to have experienced being loved this deeply? All right, let's see what else she's got.
Thank you. Can't you hear that love somewhere away? He sounds too blue to fly. The midnight train is winding on, and I'm so lonesome
like this guitarist.
The silence of the falling star lights up that blue skies. And as I wonder where you are, I'm so lonesome I could cry.
She hasn't moved from her chair in either song.
So lonesome, I could
There
Thank
she goes.
you.
She gets to stretch her legs a little bit there. It's funny the things you notice when you're watching performances and assessing them or listening to songs. You hear different things and see different things. But I think that was more for the cameraman and the fact that they were going to shoot that and record it, that they didn't want her moving around the stage because it might block the guitarist. I don't know who was doing the guitar work there, but that was some really nice picking. That was just crisp and just on point. There's so many amazing musicians out there. Now, that second song obviously was a Hank Sr. It was a cover, and it's very tough to follow Hank. And younger performers too. And LeAnn had a gorgeous voice. And this song more featured her voice than it did the feeling of the song. But it's very difficult. I mean, it's kind of like trying to cover an Elvis song, which I think I did one. LeAnn did. And yeah, that's right. She was younger and she did it with Chris Isaac, and they had a lot of fun with it. And Chris did a really good job with Elvis, but you're taking a risk when you take on a song. Whitney Houston did I Will Always Love You, which was a cover of Dolly's song that she'd written for or to Porter Wagner. And that was a risk, but Whitney pulled it off. And of course, because Whitney had that spectacular voice, and you can get away with a lot when you have a spectacular voice. And LeAnn has a gorgeous voice, and especially here because she was only 14. But one of the things I was thinking about the audience members there at this show was they're going to get to follow the trajectory of her career. They didn't know where she was going to go. I mean, artists get picked up and dropped by labels all the time. And so they didn't know that she would become who she has become. So it's kind of like college sports when, somebody commits to your school in football or basketball. Well, it used to be they stayed 4 years and then went pro. Now with NIL, they could jump anytime they want, which is kind of, it's ruining at least one aspect of the sport where you don't get to follow the player's development. But up until NIL, which kind of came into effect 3 or 4 years ago, it was the case where you'd be so happy when a guy would commit to the school because you'd be like, all right, let's see the trajectory of his career. Because in 4 years, he's either graduating college and going pro or graduating college and not going pro, but he's done. And unless you red shirts, then you get a 5th year. Either way, you get the point where LeAnn here is 14, and the people who were there, she'd already had a name for herself, or there wouldn't be anybody there. But they get to have seen a show, and then you just wait and see how is her career going to play out? What direction will she go in? Will she stay country? Will she go mainstream? Will they do this? Will they do that? And these are the kinds of things that pop into my mind. But the second song, I'm So Lonesome I Could Cry, that more featured her voice in the original feel of the song, which of course Hank Sr. captured. I mean, Sr. captured everything. And the first song I hadn't heard before, as far as I recall. I mean, either that or this is such a unique rendition of the song that it didn't make me think of the original if I'd heard it before. But nonetheless, you just look at some people and, the workload that they have. Uh, they've got to do wardrobe, they've got to do make, they've got to do all these things on top of keeping their voice in shape. Like you have to have strong abs, you have to have strong breath. There are certain foods you can't eat when you're a performer. You can't drink milk or dairy that day because it gets in the way of your vocal. Like there's so many aspects that people don't think of. And already at age 14, she was learning all of that. She already knew the majority of it. Then it was just a question of how would she develop and who would back her and so forth. So I'm not going to rate that because it was two performances. I felt bad for not doing the one a couple days ago, Renee. So I do 2 and 1 on this one. And so it's going to be a lengthy reaction, but maybe Pop It Fix It will get on board, maybe not. So this is Renee's love of LeAnn Rimes, and we're gonna see where all of that goes for folks on the channel. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that. You can thank Renee Mooberry in Southern Louisiana once again. All right, Renee, have a great day. I'll see you on another video. Keep rocking the country.